Again with Amos let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream.
Hey everybody, Dr. B here. And to start our new week, I want to tell you an amazing story of something that happened to me a few days ago. As you know, a theme of mine and in our course, especially if you're in my Introduction to Psychology course, is heroism. And I'm trying to train you all to be heroes in training so you can be heroes in waiting. And so the other day I'm taking my walk like I do every day, and I'm walking through one of my favorite areas, which is Eden Park, and I'm listening to a podcast, which I'll describe in a second, and I stop and sit on this bench here in front of this statue, this fountain, and I'm half paying attention to the podcast, and I'm reading and responding to these text messages that I had just gotten, and I'm listening to a new podcast by a historian named Jon Meacham from a series called It Was Said, and it's about famous inspirational speeches. And this episode was about MLK's final speech. The last speech he very coincidentally gave the night before he died, the so-called I've been to the mountaintop speech. And the very next morning, he was assassinated coming out of his hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm sitting there and kind of half listening to the talk, and half paying attention to my texts, and I look up at this fountain, which I've stopped and seen many times before, and it's got this passage written intricately all over it, and it's let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. And I've wondered before, and I wondered at that moment, I've heard this before. Where's this from? I wonder where this is from. Well, not 15 seconds later, I hear this.
Again with Amos let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream.
This is playing in my head just seconds after I'm looking at this and wondering where this passage is from. And it's from this final speech of MLK's, all right? So what an amazing coincidence. I mean, all these things fell together for this to happen in one place and time. And it was just absolutely inspiring and astonishing for me, and it made me look into this speech more and learn more about it, and it has all kinds of themes in it. And so this phrase that it's by the way from the Bible, from Amos 5:24, and he's worked that passage into these two of his most famous speeches in his all too short, illustrious lifetime. He worked it into his I Have a Dream speech, which very coincidentally also came out. He did that speech 57 years ago, a few days ago, last week, and in this final speech of his, all right? And so this other passage that is in this final speech resonates very strongly with the theme of ours, and something that we'll explore. And that is this idea that, if we don't help, who will? And so let me just play you this passage from that. So the context for this last speech was he was in Memphis, Tennessee to help support sanitation workers who were largely minorities and were striking for better conditions and civil rights. And he reluctantly gave the talk. He, for whatever reasons, apparently he had flown down there from Atlanta. And for whatever reason, he apparently didn't really want to go and give the talk. And, the group was meeting, and his team told him, there's an incredible turnout there. These people need to hear you. So he went and gave, almost off the cuff, one of the most amazing speeches in history. And again, this passage from it I love, and it just resonates with everything that we're doing in this course.
That's the question before you tonight. Yes? Not if I stop to help the sanitation workers, what will happen to my job? Not if I stop to help the sanitation workers, what will happen to all of the hours that I usually spend in my office every day and every week at the capitol? question is not if I stop to help this man in need, what will happen to me? The question is, if I do not stop to help the sanitation workers, what will happen to them? That's the question.
Yeah, see, that's the question. If we don't help, who will? All right? So, yeah, words to live by. All right? So I just wanted to share that story as we start our week, and I hope that you will find inspiration of your own and get through yet another week here as we begin another exciting week. All right? So I'll close with the most famous passage from this final speech of his.
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. My eyes have seen the glory of the Lord.
And to think, he gave that talk the night before he was shot and killed. It seems almost pathetic. Astonishing. That's it. Have a great week. And remember, the world needs heroes. The world needs you. So keep your cape on and do what you can to make the world a better place for at least some people this week. All right. See you next time. Bye now.